So today I'm going to make an apple cider brine for my turkey. And I'm going to start with a couple of Granny Smith apples. Add those apples into a container and add a couple cups of apple cider. And this is cider I pressed this fall from apples from my trees at the farm and at my house. And I'm just going to blend these with an immersion blender. And the fresh apple in here just gives it a little bit more intense of an apple flavor. So I'm going to put that in the pot, along with, it's going to be a half a gallon total of apple cider. And then another half gallon of water. I'm adding 3/4 of a cup of kosher salt, a tablespoon of black peppercorns, a couple teaspoons of allspice, this is ground allspice, 4 bay leaves going in. I have a couple small heads of garlic that I grew at the farm this year, and let's get some dirt on that off of there. And I'm just going to cut these in half. These are smaller heads of garlic, so two. I'm going to put both in. If you got one big head, it would be about equal probably. And then I've got some herbs from the garden at the farm. I've got a couple big stalks of parsley, some fresh thyme here, and then I'm going to get I've got a big sprig of rosemary here, put that in there, and a 1/4 cup of dark brown sugar. So now we're just going to bring this to a boil, simmer it for about 10 minutes, and then cool it down, and that's what we're going to use for our brine. So bring the brine to a boil, and then we're going to reduce the heat to a simmer, and simmer it for about 10 minutes. So I'm filling my sink with cold water, and I'm going to put the brine in here to get that to cool down so that I can get my turkeys brining.
So let's go step by step through the process of breaking down a turkey. First, you're going to want to remove the neck and the giblets from the inside cavities of the turkey and reserve. The wings have 3 sections: the tip, the center wing, and the main wing bone attached to the breast. Here you can see I'm removing the first 2 segments of the wings, cutting through the skin there, breaking it backwards, and taking the knife and cutting between the 2 bones. Rest the turkey on the cutting board with the breast facing up. Cut off the leg and thigh section by gently applying pressure down on the leg and following the seam with a sharp boning knife. When you reach the bottom of the seam, tip the bird on its side and apply some pressure against the thigh to break the thigh bone from the carcass. Continue to cut between the bones, separating the leg and the thigh from the carcass. And now you have a nice thigh leg section. Now here I'm cutting out the thigh bone, working the knife around the bone, releasing the meat from the bone. Just use the tip of the knife and scrape the meat from the bone. And when you get down to the bottom of the bone, you'll be able to cut between the 2 bones. Break it backwards. That helps to expose the joint there. you've released the thigh bone, and keep that for stock. So there's one of the 4 sections. Now we're going to repeat that on the other side. So just cut down through that seam. Release all that skin and then break it open to expose the joint there. And you're going to repeat the same thing by removing the thigh bone. Now it's time to remove the breasts. Cut on either side of the breastbone and just work your knife against the bones, just releasing the breast from the carcass. Just take your time and work your way down till the breast hits the board and is flat like that. Then you're going to cut in between. Try to release as much meat as you can. Tip it over, and then you'll cut right there between on the wing bone there, and release that so that the wing bone's attached to the breast. I like to remove excess skin that's on there because you don't want that in your stock and all that fat. And there you have a breast with the wing bone attached. And then we'll repeat on the other side. Just cut right up against the breastbone and just keep working the knife against the bones there, and you'll start releasing the breast completely from the carcass. You can see right here where the joint is exposed between the wing bone and the carcass there. And just cut right in between there to release the breast. Now I like to remove all the excess skin and fat from the carcass. And along the back there's a lot of skin and fat there, so I cut all that off and discard that. And I like to break the carcass into smaller pieces. And that's ready for the stock pot.
So to hasten the cooling of my brine, I've put some ice in the water bath, and that's helped it cool down. It's almost to room temperature now. So what I'm going to do is remove the solids. So the bay leaves, the thyme, the peppercorns, most of that will come out, and some of the apple puree that's in there. So I'm going to press in the garlic, of course. Press on that and get as much of the liquid out of there as I can. And this pasta strainer works terrific for this. Rosemary. Let's get more garlic. You don't have to get everything out. It's just good to get some of the big things out, so there's more room for the turkey to brine in there. So now I'm going to take the turkey, breast going in, the leg thigh combinations.
And we'll brine the turkey for 3 hours in the refrigerator.
So the turkey's been in the brine for 3 hours now. And I'm just going to rinse the brine off. Peppercorns and rosemary on there. Rinse that real well. I'm going to bag up the turkey for the circulator. I'm just going to put each piece in its own 1 gallon bag. Work as much air out as I can. Breast.
The circulator I use is Jewel, and it comes with a great software program. And here I'm selecting turkey, 24 hours at 55 degrees Celsius. For 24 hours, hit start, and it's time to put the turkey in the water bath. So you can see my circulator working here. Water's coming out of the top of it, and it's starting to heat the water up to 55 degrees. And I'm putting the turkey in. I'm going to turn it sideways so that the water can really flow in between the bags. And I have 2 turkeys here, so there'll be 8 bags going in. So now I'm going to open them up and use a displacement method to get all the air out of the bags. And you just kind of work the air up, move the bags down into the water until all the air is displaced, and then seal the top. By removing all the air, the bags will sink to the bottom of the container, and the water will be able to circulate around the entire piece of meat and cook very evenly. To keep the heat and moisture in the container, I like to cover it tightly with plastic wrap. After 24 hours, remove the bags of turkey from the circulator. Pull them out of the bags. And it's better to pat them dry, which I'm not doing here. I'm putting them right into a hot saute pan. Makes a little bit more of a mess this way. And sear them on both sides just to caramelize them. Alternatively, you can put them on a hot grill or in a smoker. I'm going to smoke half of these and I'm going to sear the other half. I'm drizzling in a little canola oil to help with the browning. And the whole key is to give a little caramelization to them so that they have some nice texture. Another trick is to use a torch to help with the caramelization in areas that the pan doesn't reach. Now you're ready to slice the turkey and serve what I hope to be one of the most tender and succulent turkeys you've ever had. Happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and are inspired to recreate it at home. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below, and I would appreciate a thumbs up if you liked it. Comment below if you have any suggestions or requests for future videos. Check out my website at chefmichaelsalmon.com for recipes, my online store with links to my favorite tools and ingredients, and information on my 2 cookbooks.